motion, please? Second. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Very good. Thank you very much, everyone. Good evening. Thank you for coming. When you are ready, Kathy, can you call us to order, please?
And you want me to use the mic?
If you're comfortable.
This meeting, which is hereby called to order, is in compliance with the notice requirements of the law. Public notice was posted in the office of the Board of Education and communicated to the municipal clerk, the Daily Record, and the Star Ledger on January 8, 2016.
Very good. Thank you, Kathy. And if the public can stand with us and join us as we salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, and roll call when you're ready, please, Kathy.
Here.
Here.
Ms. Dodd.
Here.
Ms. Rosario. Mr. Miller.
Here.
Mrs. Laurie.
Here.
Mr. Scarnio.
Here.
Mrs. Mullen.
Here.
Mr. Bocchino.
Here.
Mr. Hooper.
Here.
Mrs. Shower.
Here. Thank you very much. And again, good evening, everyone. This is the portion of the meeting where we have left it open for the public to make comments. I'd like to just review again how we're going to handle this. It would be 3 minutes per person for a grand total of 30 minutes speaking time. You're able to comment on any of the agenda items in this portion of the meeting. So, right, there will be a second portion as usual at the end of the meeting where you can speak on any other items. If you do have a spokesperson that's going to be speaking on behalf of anyone else, if you could just recognize them when you stand up. Could you also, when you stand at the microphone, please identify yourself with your name and your address. Thank you. So at this point, whoever would like to speak, microphone is yours.
Agenda items only, right?
Correct. At this
Okay,
point.
we will wait till the end. So,
Anyone, agenda items? Okay. Seeing no one, I will close the public portion at this point. We will move on to agenda items. Approval of minutes. I'll take a motion for regular session June 21st, executive sessions 1 and 2 from June 21st, regular sessions July 19th, and executive sessions July 19th. So moved. Second. Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Any questions or comments from anyone? Board is all good? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Very good, thank you, everyone. Communications, Kathy, do you have anything?
I have nothing at this time.
Very good, thank you. Superintendent's report with Mr. Becker's absence this evening. To Ms. Beth Schoonmaker, Assistant Superintendent, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mrs. Shower. First item tonight in the superintendent's office report is the special needs student tuition for the placement of students.
So moved.
second.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Any questions or comments? Okay, roll call, please, Kathy.
Mr. Brucio.
Yes.
Ms. Dodd.
Yes.
Ms. Rosario. Mr. Miller.
Yes.
Mrs. Laurie.
Yes.
Mr. Scarnio.
Yes.
Mrs. Mullen.
Yes.
Mr. Bocchino.
Yes.
Mr. Hooper.
Yes.
Mrs. Shower.
Yes.
Okay, second on the list are the field trips and travel authorizations. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any questions or comments about the list? That's good. Okay, roll call then, please.
Mr. Brucio.
Yes.
Ms. Dodd.
Yes.
Did you abstain? I didn't hear that.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Ms. Rosario. Mr. Miller.
Yes.
Mrs. Laurie.
Yes.
Mr. Scarnio.
Yes.
Mrs. Mullen. Mr. Bocchino.
Yes.
Mr. Hooper.
Yes.
Mrs. Shower.
Yes.
And the last item is mention of the successful semi-annual school bus inspection that was completed on July 1st. Mr. Chappelle, our Director of Transportation Services, did an outstanding job, and it was commented that the inspection team usually waits to do us right before the holiday because they feel that they aren't going to have any major issues.
That's wonderful. And you'll give the board's appreciation to Mr. Chappelle.
Definitely.
Another year of another job done above and beyond perfection.
And also, he saves the taxpayers tremendous amounts of money by, and always gets recognized from that for the state too.
Excellent job. Thank you very much. Ms. Schoonmaker, on to personnel. Mr. Miller, please.
Please, I'd like to make a motion that the board approve staff and extra service appointments for 2016-17 school year as listed, items 1 through 15.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion. We have a second. We go all the way down to the bottom of page 4, in reference to those personnel issues. We have a motion, we have a second. Any questions or comments from the board? Everybody good? Okay, roll call then, please.
Mr. Ruscio?
Yes.
Ms. Dodd?
Yes.
Ms. Rosario? Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mrs. Laurie?
Yes.
Mr. Scarnio?
Yes.
Mrs. Mullen?
Yes.
Mr. Bocchino?
Yes.
Mr. Hooper?
Yes.
Mrs. Shower?
Yes. Thank you very much, Mr. Miller. On to curriculum and co-curricular activities, Mr. Bocchino.
Yes, I'd like to move the approval of the revision of the curriculum guides to reflect the newly adopted standards for the New Jersey Student Learning Standards.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion. We have a second. Any questions or comments?
I have one. Were there substantive changes, or was it basically just?
It was to cover the switch on May 4th from using the term core curriculum content standards, New Jersey core curriculum content standards to the New Jersey student learning standards. The only changes were in math and language arts to what the former Common Core state standards. They did not change substantially. In fact, they did change numerically in the order, it was more terminology.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Everybody good? Okay, roll call, please, Karen.
Ruscio?
Yes.
Ms. Dodd?
Yes.
Ms. Rosario? Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mrs. Laurie?
Yes.
Mr. Scarnio?
Yes.
Mrs. Mullen?
Yes.
Mr. Bocchino?
Yes.
Mr. Hooper?
Yes.
Mrs. Shower?
Yes. Thank you very much. On to community relations, Mrs. Rosario.
The motion that the board recommends approval of the memorandum of understanding with the New Jersey Office of Emergency Management for the 2016-2017 school year. Second.
Okay, we have a motion. We have a second. Were there any questions or comments about the order? Nothing? Okay. Roll call then, please, Kathy.
Mr. Ruscio?
Yes.
Ms. Dodd?
Yes.
Ms. Rosario? Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mrs. Laurie?
Yes.
Mr. Scarnio?
Yes.
Mrs. Mullen?
Yes.
Mr. Bocchino?
Yes.
Mr. Hooper?
Yes.
Mrs. Shower?
Yes.
The motion that the board recommends approval as requested for the powers of this law. This constitutes the first reading and the second reading to be accomplished after December 6, 2016. 5240 party.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion. We have a second. Any questions or comments about the policy? Okay, roll call then, please.
Mr. Ruscio?
Yes.
Ms. Dodd?
Yes.
Ms. Rosario? Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mrs. Laurie?
Yes.
Mr. Scarnio?
Yes.
Mrs. Mullen?
Yes.
Mr. Bocchino?
Yes.
Mr. Hooper?
Yes.
Mrs. Shower?
Yes. Very good. Thank you, Mrs. Rosario. On to buildings and grounds, Mrs. Mullen.
I'm pleased to report that there is nothing to report in any of our schools. No vandalism, no property loss, not including the transportation.
Wonderful to hear. That's great to hear. Thank you very much for that. On to budget and finance, Mrs. Laurie.
We approve and/or adopt the following resolutions as listed.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion, and we have a second. And we move those on through the top of page 8. Any questions or comments?
I have a question about the status of our construction outside.
questions? Okay, thank you. Roll call then, please.
Mr. Nucio?
Yes.
Ms. Dodd?
Yes.
Ms. Rosario? Mr. Miller? Mrs. Laurie?
Yes.
Mr. Scarnio?
Yes.
Mrs. Mullen?
Yes.
Mr. Burkino?
Yes.
Mr. Hooper?
Yes.
Mrs. Shower?
Yes. Thank you very much, Ms. Cullen. On to the Dover report from Mine Hill, Mr. Lucio.
Nothing at this time.
Okay, school all set and ready to open?
Getting there.
That's good to hear, good to hear. Okay, on to old business. Did the board have anything that we had, I don't have anything myself. Do we have anything that someone else wanted to bring up from the last meeting? Nothing. New business, we do have a rolling calendar with our meeting schedule. Our next meeting is September 6th, executive session at 7:30, public portion at 8 p.m. Regular session again on September 20th, and 7:30 for the executive session, 8 o'clock for the public comment portion of the meeting. And at our next meeting, September 6th, once Mr. Becker is back from vacation, we are going to be discussing the board retreat. So bring your calendars, your personal calendars, so that you can check out what's available and what's not available, because I'd like that to try and happen by the end of September. Okay? That is the new business. And of course, school board workshop is October 25th through the 27th, again in Atlantic City. If you are planning on going, don't wait too long to make your reservations. And let Kathy Janish know if you are planning on going, what days you'd like to go. And also, if there are any workshops that you're interested in, I know some of them have already been listed on the school board's website. Make sure you register early enough, because as we know, those fill up, and they've made the space less and less, so that they can accommodate, it seems like less people, but they're offering us more. Okay? Yes, ma'am.
Has there been anything scheduled for Morris County School Board yet? Because we don't get it.
Kathy, do you have anything for the most recent Morris County School Boards when their next meeting is going to be?
Because we don't get that email from them.
No, nobody's receiving it?
I don't get it.
I haven't gotten it.
So I'd like to know if they have anything scheduled. And if they do, I'd like to get the information, please.
Hold on, I think I have.
Oh, you do have it.
I just have it. Go ahead, I'll tell you later on.
Okay.
I have something on the workshop, and that is all I have. I can inquire tomorrow.
Because I just wanted,
I have.
do they have it in September, Mike?
Yeah, we do have a meeting at the end of September, towards the end of September.
And we're not receiving it.
Huh,
Well, I
that's
don't think we
true.
put them out yet, it's just, the board of directors had their meeting a couple of weeks ago, and set up the schedule.
Oh, so they haven't been out.
I don't think it's gone out yet.
Okay. Thank you for that, Mike, and thank you for that, Lori. Mr. Scarnio, did you have anything that you'd like to share with us under new business for upcoming issues as our representative with the state?
We had, I met with Assemblyman Bucco and with Assemblyman Carroll, week before last. And it was basically our yearly roundup that we go to try to get all the legislators. And we inform them of where the school board stands on current issues that we have. Our focus on this year, on unfunded state mandates, school funding formula that's currently being, bandied about down in Trent, pensions and a couple of other issues. Reception by Assemblyman Bucco was very, very well received. He's willing to work with school boards on a number of issues that we have to push them forward through the legislature. We did not receive that same level of commitment from Assemblyman Carroll. Assemblyman Carroll is pretty adamant about how he feels about public education. He is not a supporter of public education. He's really pushing, he would like to see every parent get a voucher to be able to select the other school they want to send have some work to do with him. He's definitely not a friend of public education. But the good news is that is a minority of the legislators that we've spoken to over the years.
That's good.
I have a question. Was there any discussion on this new proposal that each student would be $7,000 per year? Was there any discussion by any of these people?
Well, that's one of the proposals that's been going around. I don't really think that is going to happen because it really goes against the original legal case that established the school funding, whereas that poorer school districts that are less able to pay for education are able to afford the same level of education as wealthy districts. So if they go to a flat funding where everybody gets the same, they basically go back to where they were in the 70s. So I don't think that's going to fly. What they are talking about is there's a host of school districts in the state that get extra aid because of circumstances that were in place 15 years ago that don't necessarily exist anymore. The school districts that just get, just obscene amounts of money, the Asbury Parks, the Newark, Jersey cities, those have to be revisited. The plans that we have seen so far, though, Dover actually makes out fairly well. They don't really hurt us with what they're doing, but that's the current model, not what they've, by any means settled on. So that's an ongoing debate. And I really don't think we're going to see much of that probably until the next administration comes. And I think we're going to be pretty status quo until then.
We hope. Okay, thank you both for that comment. We're going to move on to the public comment portion again of the meeting. Again, 3 minutes each at the podium, please, identifying yourself, identifying your address, for a grand total of 30 minutes. At this point, since it seems this is when the public is going to get up, the board will wait till everyone has made their comments. And if it deems necessary and appropriate, we'll then respond to your comments in total at the end. Okay? So I open it up to the public at this point. Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Barbara Nijinsky, 2 Jenkins Street in Pathfinder, New Jersey. I'm here tonight to discuss something that I don't think the Board of Education is aware of what's happening in the building that I was in. I retired February of this year after 32 years of teaching special education. I had to retire, forced to retire because of medical conditions. So I was well enough in May to be able to come back to the school to pick up my personal items. I sent an email to the principal, Kathy Rutan. Hope everything is well with you. I'm sure everyone's relieved the park's testing is finished. I would like to come to North Dover on Wednesday, May 11th after school to pick up my personal items. If that is not convenient for you, please let me know. Thank you, Barbara Nijinsky. I sent that email, never got a response. The next morning, I called the school and said I sent an email. Did Kathy receive it? They didn't know. I said, well, I'm coming in today because I have something to help me pack up my belongings. I said, if Kathy has something to say about that, or if she doesn't want me in that day, just let me know. Never got a phone call, so I did go to school on the next morning, no, that next afternoon at 4 o'clock. I met with very hostile conditions. I was allowed to come in. I had to go to the main office, and I met with an administrator who had 2 boxes on the table of my personal belongings. I said, I'm here 32 years. I have more than that. I would like to go to my classroom and pick up my belongings, being I was not able to do that when I left because I left on a medical reason and did not have the chance to pack up my personal things. She said that I was not allowed to go into my room, that those are the things that were mine, and I couldn't understand how she would know what is mine. I brought back 1 of the 2 boxes I received. computer boxes. None of this is mine, it's all junk, pencils, pens, a couple of tapes and so on. So I'm going to leave it here because it's not mine, first of all. I was told that there's a law that retired teachers are not allowed to come back into the building at all. I wasn't allowed to go down to my room. I said to her that she could escort me. I didn't have to go by myself. I really needed someone to help me anyway, and she would not allow me to do that. That is what I had, and that was all I was getting. If there was anything missing, I could make a list. Now, first of all, I've gone a year and a couple of months with my condition, and I'd really have to go into the room because I was a special ed teacher and had many, many materials after 32 years. I was not allowed that. I was not allowed to go down into the hallway to see if anybody was around just to say hello. I was asked to then leave. I was escorted out the back door, and I asked, why didn't you respond to my email? And she said that she sent it up to the main office and never got a result of it. Now, I don't know why that would go to Mr. Becker. So I was escorted out, and I told her I would be coming back to get my personal belongings. Also, the last thing to this is, one of the secretaries said, if you come back again, don't walk on the grass. Now, I was flabbergasted. I just want the board to know that I'm not the only one that has happened to.
I'm sorry, we actually even extended past.
Okay,
30
well,
minutes.
that's what I'm doing. I would like to ask the board if I can come back on Monday to pick up my personal belongings, because that's the day I have someone to help me, which is the 24th, or 22nd.
Okay.
Okay. That's what I'm here for, to ask for a day to go back and get my personal belongings.
Thank you very much for your kindness. Thank you. Thank you very much. Next, public? Anyone else?
Let me know when I'm on.
Whenever you start speaking.
Say your name and address first, I won't start the clock.
Rodney Lane, 68 Prospect Street. Okay, there's a couple things I'm gonna go over. First of all, it hurts me to see somebody with 32 years in the district has to come back and beg the board to get their stuff. That's there's a morale problem, and it's big, and that's the reason why I'm here. I'm gonna be coming here. There's a lot of people that are afraid of retaliation. Retaliation is themselves, their students, their children. There's a lot of it. There is a lot of it. I'm talking about 30 or 40 emails. They see me as some type of advocate or whatever, but they're coming out of the droves. It's a lot of people. I think we have to resolve this issue with morale, because it is very big. Secondly, as far as the board vote, these are some of the questions I want you can answer at the end. I want to know, has the board ever voted, has anyone ever had an opposing vote? Or is the board always straight yes or no? I want to know if anybody can recall if there's any, has anyone ever voted against something, if it's happened recently? Thirdly, videotaping. I'm videotaping today, and I'll do it moving forward, but I wonder if the district can do something where they can provide that service for the citizens of Dover. A lot of districts have that, whether it be on cable access or YouTube or something of that nature. Another thing, I spoke to Mr. Becker last time. He said, I asked him why there were no administrators that were Dover alumni. He said that he only hires the best. So my question is, do you consider the Dover students to be the best, and once they get in college, they no longer are the best, they're good enough to come back and work here? That's something that I would like to know. Last thing, I'm just going to touch on this, and then you can answer these things. The Genesis access for students and parents. There's numerous people that would like to have that opportunity to look at their grades, et cetera. They do it in many districts, including the one that I work in. So it's something that's just a matter of getting the module added or hooked up. It's my students look at it every day. those are our major questions. I had some things for Mr. Becker, he's not here, I'm on vacation, so I'll be back to discuss those issues. A couple of things that transpired with the NGA, the serve offices, and a couple of things. And last thing, is it protocol to have all the principals at the meetings? I want to know that too. Is it protocol to have all the principals standing up like that? All right, so I'm pretty much done, and you can answer that at the end. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next person.
Hi, my name is Casey Hoops. I live at 10 Bassett Ave, Mine Hill. My question is a little bit simpler. I just wanted to know, coming from a concerned alumni of Dover High School standpoint, is this agenda available online for review prior to these meetings? Because looking at it 5 minutes ahead of time didn't really give us enough time to make our opinions clear. And I did look on the website, so I just wanted to know if maybe it could be made clearer on that website. Thank you.
Thanks for coming, Casey. Anybody else?
Hi, my name is Ida Mezamontiel. I work, my address is 48 Samoset. I worked at the North Dover School. I received a notice of non-renewal. I've been there for almost 14 years. And when I've been told by Kathy that it was because of absence. I had a note for surgery. It is against the law to let somebody go because they had surgery, had a hernia. Was gone for 2 weeks. Before I had my surgery, I asked them to please postpone it for 2 weeks because I knew that the school is very critical with the kindergartens first starting the first 2 weeks and I'm on the bus and stuff like that. I did not have to ask them to postpone it. Came in 2 weeks, and then I was out for 2 weeks. I would like to know what the reasoning was. I think it's very unfair. I did my job well. I've had great evaluations. I'm just curious why I was let go. And then I see on Facebook that the school, they're hiring for aides.
Thank you very much for your comment. Anyone else this evening?
Hi, I'm Mike Purdue, Chairman of the Street PACOM. I have one question about the agenda and comment. Since I did ask about the hiring of security at a previous meeting, I'd like to commend Mr. Becker, whoever's responsible for hiring one security position, and hopefully the other one will be filled before the school year starts. My second comment was there's a person whose resignation was accepted, Vanessa Boykovich, but yes, she's hired in another location. Is that a bookkeeping thing and her position changed, or is that an oversight? And you can address that at the end when you address all those issues.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Good evening. Hope you're all well. I have a few questions. My first question
Can you
is...
just state your name and address, please?
Thank you. Carol Ruiz, 98 Prospect Street, Dover, New Jersey. My first question is about the wonderful donation we received from the Jets. I'm wondering when and how that is being used. My second question is about the unfunded mandates that we're concerned about. What exactly are those? And I also have a comment just to, since I have the mic, publicly thank the teacher for her service in North Dover and apologize on behalf of our Dover community for treating any human being that way, let alone someone who cared for our children for as long and as well as she seems to have done. So while there may or may not be regulations that could help to explain that behavior, as human beings and colleagues, we should know better. And my last question was about follow-up from the last meeting, asking about policies to allow parents to visit the classroom. I believe at that last meeting, Mr. Becker stated that that parents were welcome to visit based on a policy, and because my son is at Dover High School, Mr. Franks would review the policy, and I just want to make sure that the policy is available for everyone's review, and that there is a timeline for a time when either I or any other parent would like to check up on their kid. I'm not worried about our teachers, I'm worried about my kid and want him to know that, if he acts up, I'll come to the school. So, thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else from the public? Okay, seeing no more hands and hearing no more voices, I will close this portion of public comment session, and I'll make a quick response for the question in regards to administrators attending meetings. Our meetings are always open to the administrators. The last meeting that we had here, our administrators chose to come. They wanted to support the board. They understood that there was going to be some questions, and they wanted to support the board, so they were here. The other question of, has a board member ever voted no? I don't know the context of that question. I can't really answer that question. I think it's an odd question because it all depends on what the questions are. And if a board member needs to abstain or vote no, they do have that opportunity to do that.
Can I clarify?
Yes.
You don't understand?
No,
I'm sorry.
Public comment section
Is closed at this point.
So,
okay.
but if you don't
Public
understand,
comment section is open.
so if you don't understand, all right, okay. All right. Still, they will.
There was another question about the agenda being online. No, it is not online. Not at this point. It is available here when you come to the meeting. It's available at the desk coming into the board office.
Get 3 minutes.
And at this point, that's what we offer at this point. Anything else that we can?
So you get 3 minutes to look over this whole.
Yes. Okay.
This is what I'm talking about.
Ms. Schoonmaker would like to address Mr. Purdue's question.
Yeah, we are with the approval of the security guard tonight, fully staffed in both buildings with security guards. We had another approval earlier this spring, summer. And then as far as your question about the employee, Tiger Rap starts July 1st. The hiring was retroactive to July 1st. So the person was employed with us from July 1st, and then, as you see on the agenda tonight, resigned, so there is an overlap in time.
Okay, the only other question that I did want to address was, Mr. Scario was reporting from a state legislative seat, because he sits on that board also with the state. The district does not have an overall item right now that we are addressing that's an unfunded mandate. I just wanted to clarify that. We were not stating that we had a concern. Overall education, New Jersey School Boards has a concern about unfunded mandates. So, just to clarify that. Is there anything else that we could possibly easily? Mrs. Nijinsky, in reference to your belongings and in reference to the availability of going into the classroom, someone will be in contact with you about that, okay? Mr. Becker will be responding to you, Ida, I believe. Okay.
I actually did
Sorry,
give a
public
note.
comment section is
I'm
open.
sorry, it's closed, I know. It's
Medical
difficult.
note was given.
Oh, okay, yes, and the JETS equipment down at the middle school complex, the Eastover complex. Ms. Ruiz, I'm responding to you just so that you don't miss what I'm saying. Ms. Claret, the principal at the middle school complex, will be in touch with you on how the JETS money and donations being used.
Thank you for interrupting me, interrupting you.
Okay.
I didn't realize you were, I'm concerned.
That's
Okay, the
why
public
I The middle school principal at the Eastover complex will be in touch with you in reference to your question about the donation from the New York Jets and how that's being used. Okay? Anyone else that I believe that's the only ones that I can easily respond to. Okay, so at this point, seeing nothing else, do we have any necessity for a second executive session, any board members? Nothing, okay. I'll take a motion then to adjourn. Oh, yes, please, go ahead.
The county meetings are going to be September 28th, November 9th, February 8th, March 22nd, and April 26th.
Thank you. And Kathy, would you sign me up for September 28th? Is it still going to be in that lake line?
Yeah, still going to be at,
All right.
we have the topics that are going to be discussed. School funding 101 is basically going to be an overall explanation of how the school funding formula is currently being worked and what the proposed changes are. One of the sessions will be school safety and security and cybersecurity in the 21st century. Learning a regional multi-center interactive cloud-based meeting. They're going to be bringing in a company that's going to run a meeting between us and 2 other counties in the state on the same night so we can all collaborate. I don't know at this point what topics are going to be, what dates. That's still being hammered out.
Kathy, could you also put down the same meeting, the 28th, September 28th? Very good. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. All those in favor of the adjournment?
Aye.
Any opposed? Very good. Thank you very much, everyone, and thank you, public, for coming this evening.
This is why everybody has to vote.
Huh?
You have to vote.